Sports Southwest is proudly presented by AT Uverse TV.
The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Southwest.
Clouds overhead, a warm and humid afternoon here at Rangers Ballpark. Your Rangers trying to break through the gloom and salvage the final game of this three-game series as they take on the Oakland A's. And welcome in, everyone. It's a Sunday afternoon of Ranger baseball along with Tom Grieve, Steve Busby. Glad to have you along. And indeed, the Rangers need to do some work today and get off that five-game losing streak that they bring into play here this afternoon. They have Martin Perez on the hill, and Tom, for the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's been the best they have.
He's been really good, Buzz. I don't think you could have expected any more out of a 22-year-old than Martin has given the Rangers this season. He had won 6 straight starts until his last start. His last start was one of his first and only bad starts of the season. In his last 8 starts, even counting that game, his ERA is under 3. His record is 6-1. He only throws 14.6 pitches per inning. Throws a lot of strikes. Very seldom walk. Will he walk more than 2 in a ball game? He keeps your team in the ball game, and right now with the Rangers in need of a win, feel good having him out there.
Yep, and Martin Perez going for the Rangers this afternoon, taking on the hottest team in the American League, and that is the Oakland Athletics. We'll be back with the starting lineups of the first pitch right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Is brought to you by the Boat Boards Up Sales Event at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. The Rangers taking the field this Sunday afternoon affair here this afternoon. The youngsters out at each position as the Rangers go out there to get autographs from them. A tradition here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington for Sunday afternoon. Before we get things underway, let's check in with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, Buzz, you would think that the Rangers at some point are going to catch a break. I mean, something's got to give just by the law of averages. However, if you ask the guys in the clubhouse, they are definitely not relying on the law of averages to break them out of this spot.
So to play the games, stuff that you have to make things happen. You can't just expect it to happen because of the law of average, or you've lost a certain number of games or you've won a certain number of games. It's it'd be nice if it worked that way, but it doesn't. You still have to go out there and perform and play well, and today we're going to try to get back on track.
And hopefully it starts today, Buzz and Tom. Coming to you from the Captain Morgan Club today because I've got desk duty for the pre- and post-game show. So lucky for me, I get to hang out in the AC as well.
Oh, rub it in, Em. That's okay.
You deserve it, Em.
Good spot for you out there. You get a great view of the ballpark, and Ron watching, you look right into the skipper, and Jackie Moore sitting there on the top step. Well, the A's lineup this afternoon that will face Martin Perez looks like this. Coco Crisp leads off. Chris Young is in left field, batting second. Jed Lowry is the shortstop. Josh Donaldson moves down to cleanup, and he's playing in third base. Derek Norris catches. Alberto Callaspo is at second. Nate Fryman is the DH. Josh Reddick plays right and bats eighth. And hitting ninth, the first baseman, Derek Barton.
And our progressive scouting report for Martin Perez, 9-4, looking for his 10th win of the season. He's had 16 starts. He's pitched better at home than he has on the road, a 2.95 ERA, a little over 4 in 10 road starts. September 3rd at Oakland, excellent start. 7 innings, 8 hits, only 1 run. Didn't walk a batter in that big win that he and the Rangers had in Oakland. Trying to duplicate that this afternoon. Buzz, I think every time you see numbers on the ballpark this year, pitchers' numbers in this ballpark, it just brings up a topic that, well, let's wait.
Coco Crisp, and not much Elvis can do with that, even if he comes up with it cleanly. Crisp runs very well, and he's going to leg that out. That's an infield single to start things off on the first pitch of the afternoon. Ranger defense, we'll take a look at that very quickly. Behind Martin Perez, Joey Butler to start in left field. Leonis Martin in center. It's actually Craig Gentry in center field. Alex Rios is in right. Jim Adducci at first. Kinsler and Andrews up the middle. Adrian Beltre at third. A.J. Brzezinski is catching for the young left-hander Martin Perez. So one on, nobody out. And here is Chris Young. Young originally slated to hit in the 7th spot in the order for Bob Melvin, but Yoenis Cespedes, who was scheduled to hit cleanup, had to be scratched. He has a bad shoulder. So Donaldson moved from the 2nd spot to the cleanup spot, and Chris Young moving up. He has been swinging the bat much better of late. He got off that terrible start we had talked about. And he's up to 201 now with 11 home runs and 36 driven in. Tom, you were talking about the numbers in this ballpark?
Yeah, I was just bringing up a point, Buzz, that it really seems this year like it's much easier to pitch in this ballpark than it has been. We talk about the jet stream and the way the wind is blowing. Non-factor this year.
Right.
I can't think of many balls that have gotten up in the air and you go, wow, look at the jet stream, take that thing out of here. And you have to think that the new construction behind home plate that's opened up some of the airwaves underneath the ballpark have dramatically affected it, because it really has not been a factor this year.
0-2 pitch is shot to right field. A little looper that's going to fall in for a hit. Crisp turning on the Jets around second. He will motor into third. A pair of softly hit singles, but runners at the corners with nobody out for Jed Lowry.
Boy, when it's going bad, it just continues to go bad, it feels like. Martin makes a pitch to Crisp. Gets a ground ball to short, but it's in the hole. Throws a changeup down and away. It's about a foot outside. And Young just bloops it right off the end of the bat. Stop rolling. before Rios could get to it. But they both counts, first and third, and nobody out right off the bat here in the first inning on 2 weakly hit little base hits.
So with nobody out, Jen Lowry, the switch hitting shortstop, will step in. Lowry, you can see, having a very, very solid year at 286 with the average. First pitch to him is low and inside for ball 1. Umpire crew this afternoon, Sam Holbrook calling the balls and strikes, Andy Fletcher at first, Rob Drake at second, and the crew chief, Joe West, is at third. A 1-0 to Lowry, who has a dozen home runs. He has driven in 67. Up the middle, Kinsler, a shovel to Andrews, a tap dance on second, and a throw to first for the double play. Well, the run scores, but what a fancy turn double play by Kinsler and Andrews for 2 big outs.
Now, when you see it turned like that, it just looks like a play you might see during infield practice. Just a routine little play with 2 guys messing around out there. But that's a big play. Tough play. Ian's going up the middle. It's easier for him to flip it out of his glove than it is to try to get it in his bare hand running toward shortstop like that. And Elvis knows he has plenty of time to make the play back to first base. And for him, it's easy to catch it barehanded, and he just accomplishes that.
In case you weren't sure, they've done that a few times
Yeah,
with each other.
I was going to say, if you haven't done that very many times, you're probably going to have a hard time pulling that double play off, doing it the same way.
Yeah, that's not real good for a new double play partner to try and pull that real quick.
I would suggest practicing at home or in practice before your games many times before you bring that one to a game.
Yeah. Otherwise, your coach might decide that he didn't really like the looks of that as you flipped it over the guy's head. No, base is empty, a run across 2 outs, and Donaldson a drive down the left field line. It's hooking into the corner. It is gone. Boy, Donaldson continuing to pummel Rangers pitching with the home run, his 23rd of the year, and Oakland on top 2-0.
Well, we talked about him in the pregame show. He's a good player. He's an aggressive player, a guy the players would call a gamer. Plays every day, and he can hit. It's a breaking ball. You know, you might say, well, how can he look for a breaking ball? He wasn't looking for a breaking ball right there. That ball just hung up for him, and he made a little bit of an adjustment with his timing and ripped it out of the ballpark.
That would be the definition of a get-ahead breaking ball.
Yeah.
You're just trying to throw it for a strike and not really 100% committed to throwing a good pitch. An okay pitch, yeah, you want to strike. And unfortunately, Donaldson's not a guy that you can do that against, and certainly not the way he's swinging now. Derek Norris lofts a fly ball to right center field, and Gentry and Rios come together. It's Alex Rios to make the catch, and that will do it. But the A's come up with 2 runs on 3 hits, nobody left. After half inning, Oakland 2, Texas coming up. inning. And the Rangers starting lineup this afternoon presented by DeMontron RV. Ian Kinsler leads off. He's followed by Elvis Anderson and Alex Rios. Batting cleanup, the third baseman, Adrian Beltre. A.J. Berzinski is fifth. Jeff Baker's the DH, hitting sixth. Jim Adducci is the first baseman today. Joey Butler, the start in left field. And the center fielder, batting ninth, is Craig Gentry.
And our scouting report brought to us by Auto Nation for Tommy Malone. Spot starter today. Not scheduled to start, but he has been in the rotation most of the year. This will be his 25th start. He's 10-9, a 4.31 ERA. Last four appearances, though, haven't gone well. Probably why he was not in the rotation. ERA over 6, opponent's batting average over 300. August 2nd against the Rangers. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 6 runs. He's 0-2 against the Rangers with an ERA of 12 in 2 starts this year. Jared Parker was supposed to start for the A's. Malone gets the spot start instead.
No, Ian Kinsler leading things off. First ball swing, lines one to center. On comes Crisp, and he makes the catch. Well, Ian just hit it too hard. You got to hit it softly like the A's did the first couple of times, and maybe it'll fall in, but Ian lines out on the first pitch of the game by Tommy Malone. The rest of the Oakland defense has Chris Young in left field. You saw Crisp in center. Josh Reddick is in right. Derek Barton at first base. Cayaspo and Lowry up the middle. Josh Donaldson at third. Derek Norris behind the plate today. And the young left-hander Tommy Malone on the hill. No, one pitch, one away. Elvis Andrus will step in. Elvis, a 269 average. Couple of home runs. He is on a pretty good RBI tear, as a matter of fact. He's up to 58 now. Elvis, a couple of RBI yesterday, has had good success against Tommy Malone. Looks to strike here. Andrus with multiple hits in 5 of his last 8 ball games and 9 of his last 15 games. He's driven in 5 runs in his last 3. Takes the next pitch low. 2 balls and a strike to Elvis.
The Malone is the definition, really, of a crafty left-hander. Phrase that we use a lot. Doesn't light up a radar gun. Fastball in the 80s. Has a good changeup and a good breaking ball.
And Elvis continuing to swing that hot bat as he laces one to right field for a 1-out single. Well, the Rangers in comeback mode, and Elvis gets it started with 1 out here in the first. It'll bring up Alex Rios.
Fastball away, and a good job by Elvis taking the ball away and driving it to right field. One thing he's done really well the last month is hit the outside pitch to right field and pull the pitch on the inside part of the plate. In the middle of this hot streak, he's hit a lot of balls hard to left field too, line drives, which pretty much tells you he's feeling pretty good about his swing right now when you're able to do that.
And he is also feeling pretty good about his base stealing ability.
Yep.
40 stolen bases now, a new career high with each one for Elvis. He has really gotten that back on track. It kind of took a nap for the better part of 2 months, right in the middle of the season. First pitch to Alex Rios, low and inside for ball 1. And the Ford leaderboard for this afternoon will show you the stolen base leaders in Ranger history. Bump Wills has the mark for the Rangers at 52. That was back in 78. Dave Nelson at 51. Otis Nixon comprises the trio that are the only 3 that have had 50 or more stolen bases in Ranger history. Elvis now in that 40 stolen base category. A ball and a strike to Rios, hitting .281, 16 home runs, and 70 driven in. Elvis getting that lead at first as Malone sets. And another throw to first. Elvis appeared to be able to read that move pretty well. We'll see if he can read the move going to the plate as well. Malone okays the sign. He checks Elvis at first. And Rios Shoots it foul to the right. It is 2-2. Check that 1-2. Elvis 40 out of 47 in the stolen base categories this year. Rangers as a team with 124. The 1-2 pitch on the way. There's the breaking ball from Malone, and Rios able to lay off of it. It's 2-2 now. Athletics won the first 2 games of this series, 9-8 here on Friday night. And then yesterday afternoon, a 1-0 whitewashing of the Rangers behind Yu Darvish. Bartolo Colon yesterday was, again, smoke and mirrors. How in the world he does it? Well, he fills up the strike zone is how he does it. Rios, fly ball right center. Long run over for Reddick, still going over and makes the catch into the alley. Reddick was shaded toward the line in right field and had a long way to go, but able to make up some ground. That is out number 2, and it brings up Adrian Beltre.
Hit pretty well to right center field. Didn't really drive it into the gap. Gave Reddick plenty of time to run over to his right and make the play.
So Adrian steps in, a .319 hitter. Took an 0 for yesterday after having a 3-hit game here on Friday night. Malone, a long look at first. And Beltre, a scalded ball by the dive of Lowry and into left field, a base hit. A lot of first ball swinging by both teams here in the first inning. And Adrian Beltre with the hit. Runners at first and second for A.J. Pierzynski. The one thing we've seen from the Rangers in this series in particular, and now the last couple of games against the Pirates also, they are not going to roll over and quit. They have come back time and time again. Unfortunately, they've had to come back time and time again. They've been down many times. They have not had a lead in this series or in this homestand for that matter.
Well, AJ will be facing a lefty today, and on the season he's a .289 hitter against left-handed pitching. He actually has a higher average against left-hand pitchers than he does right-hand pitchers.
Malone, a check of the runners, and the pitch, a breaking ball. That bends into the strike zone. It's 0-1. AJ 2 for 4 yesterday. He averaged .282 overall, 1 for 5 in his career against Tommy Malone. AJ putting up, again, some impressive numbers in the power department. 17 home runs, 62 RBI. He's got Andrus at second, Beltre at first, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Malone with a fastball, and it's fouled back to the screen. Well, it's 0-2. AJ in his last 8 ball games, as we show you, that .370 mark. He has been extremely hot. He's driven in 26 in his last 38 games also. Now Malone ready once again. Check of Elvis. And the 0-2 is low and inside. Rangers have lost 5 in a row. They have all come at home. It has been one of the longest losing streaks in this ballpark in Rangers history. And Malone will use a little inside move to drive Elvis back. Now Malone okays the sign. The 1-2 pitch to left field, a base hit. That will bring Elvis home as he rounds third. There will be no throw. And A.J. Pierzynski going with the pitch. Drives in the run. It's 2-1 Oakland.
That's
the Rangers come right back.
That's one of those examples of they've got a shift on. The shortstop's playing way over near second. but the pitcher and the catcher throw a ball away, and AJ doesn't try to pull it, just goes with the pitch. Looked like he was trying to throw it up and in. The ball goes away, and now he just hits it right against the shift into left field, right where the shortstop might have been on a fastball away that you might expect a hitter to go that way on.
Well, Brzezinski driving home the run. That is his 63rd RBI of the year. Still 2 on with 2 out. Jeff Baker, the Ranger DH, steps in. And he takes a strike from Tommy Malone. Baker not in the original lineup. It was completely switched around after Jared Parker was scratched as the starting pitcher for Oakland. And Tommy Malone, of course, a left-hander, put in there. Baker not in the original lineup, nor was Joey Butler. Baker, kind of a limp line drive foul down the third base side. And the count moves to 0-2. Saw Baker at 11 home runs, 21 RBI. And last 4 ball games, Jeff has been in a pretty good downturn. Just 1 for his last 10 with 5 strikeouts. Malone's 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Up the ladder, the strikeout ends the Ranger first, but they get 1 back of the 2. 1 run on 3 hits. They strand 2. After an inning of play, the A's 2, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Back at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, a 2-1 Oakland lead. Both teams scoring in the first inning, and Alberto Callaspo starting off the Oakland second. Martin Perez back to him. The 0-1 pitch is outside to even the count. It'll be Callaspo, Fryman, Reddick, the first 3 to do the swinging against Martin Perez, who gave up 3 hits and 2 runs in the first inning. Little nubber off the end of the bat. Tough play now for Kinsler. Bare hands throws and dropped by Adduci.
Well, that was a nice play by Ian. He had to sprint 20 yards to get to that ball. It just barely trickled by Perez, who was a little bit off balance, couldn't recover to catch the slowly hit ball. And Ian on the dead run makes a nice play. Looked like it was high enough. Jim just didn't catch it.
Nope. That was a great play by Kinsler. That may be the hardest play a second baseman has. Coming in toward home and having to barehand a ball and then throw from down under like that.
Yep, would have had him.
Yeah, well, haven't been informed yet as to how that's going to be scored, but that is going to be an error on Adduci. And an assist goes to Ian Kinsler. Steve Weller, the official scorer this afternoon, saying that that ball should have been caught. So the first error of the ball game has Kayaspo at first. And Nate Fryman has an 0-1 count. Now 1-1. Fryman checking with third base coach Mike Gallego down there. He's probably not the ideal hit and run guy. Fouled straight back. A ball and 2 strikes. Fryman, a huge man in the batter's box. He goes about 6'8". And needless to say, if he gets his arms extended, he can hit a ball as far as anybody.
He sure looks like he could. With the Dave, looks like he might even be bigger than Dave Kidman was.
Yeah, a little bit taller. 1-2 pitch. Sawed him off. I don't know if they can turn 2 on it. Kinsler turns it in a hurry, and they do. 6-4-3, second double play, turned by the Keystone combination of Andrus and Kinsler. Well done on that ball.
Very nicely done. Not a hard hit ball. Elvis fielded it, flipped it very quickly and accurately to Ian. Made Ian's job easy. Not challenged by the runner sliding into second. And Martin Perez, who, when he's throwing well, will get a lot of ground balls, has really benefited him so far in this game with the 2 double plays.
Now Josh Reddick, a big rip and a miss at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Reddick hitting just .214, but he has 11 home runs. He has driven in 49. Two for 6 against Martin Perez, and Reddick pops one foul that will reach the seats. Krasinski over just to take a cursory look. A ball and 2 strikes now. Reddick, who has battled injuries this year, in and out of the lineup, and it has really plagued his consistency. Sky to center field, moving over to his left, kind of gliding over there. Craig Gentry puts it away. That will do it. No runs, no hits, an error, but the double play took care of that. After an inning and a half, the A's 2, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. welcome Jim Knox in. Jim?
I appreciate it, Buzz. Hey, check this out. Josh Reddick lookalike, huh? Right there, huh? Not bad. All right, forget that. All right. Community Corner this afternoon. We're talking about the Texas Rangers before the game, along with representatives for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes down in the field to help kick off Hispanic Heritage Month. A lot of entertainment going around the ballpark this afternoon. To find out more how the Rangers are involved in the community, log on to texasrangers.com/community. Buzz?
All right, Jim, thank you. Jim Adduci, the Ranger first baseman, leading things off. He takes a slow curve from Tommy Malone. That's in for strike one. Adduci, a .308 hitter. Limited play since being called up for his Major League debut the 1st of September. Squirts that one foul off the fist down the left side. It's 0-2 now. This is Adduci's 11th game in which he has appeared. He's hit safely in 4 of the first 9 in which he has had a plate appearance. Fastball sails high. It's 1-2. Adduci, who made his Major League debut at the age of 28. Jam shot that may fall in right field. It's down for a base hit. And Adduci with very good speed now aboard to start the Rangers' second inning.
Rangers getting plenty of base runners so far. 4 hits and 7 batters.
Now let's take a look at today's AT Twitter poll question. We'd like to find out from you which of the current Rangers would be the best Major League manager. You can tweet your answer with hashtag FS and then the player's last name. For example, if you want a Derek Holland, it'd be hashtag FS Holland. Go on to Twitter and give us your opinion on that Twitter poll question today. A 1 on, nobody out. Here's Joey Butler. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Butler, a .500 hitter in his brief time at the big leagues this year. Got Adduci with very good speed at first. Nobody out. 1-0 pitch. There goes Adduci. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second is late. It almost looked like a delayed steal. Look at that. Adduci got a terrible jump, but it worked out pretty well.
It looked like he was just being careful on a hit and run play where it's up to the hitter to make some contact. Hitter didn't make any contact. Catcher couldn't really handle the ball that well. And so it worked out in his favor. Goes as a stolen base.
Adduci's first stolen base, as you saw, and he is now in scoring position. A count of 1 ball and 1 strike to Butler. Inside now 2-1. So it becomes Joey's obligation to try and move Adduci over to third. Butler, a good solid year at AAA Round Rock, 291 with a dozen home runs and 51 RBI. Malone a check of second. And Butler a late swing and a miss, trying to take that ball to the right side. That evens the count now at 2-2. Butler was up for his first time in the major leagues back in August, from the 5th through the 10th. Made his major league debut on the 7th of August against the Angels. Went 2 for 3 in that start. And got everything out of the way in that first opportunity at the big league level. And a foul tip. He's just able to get a piece of it to stay alive at 2-2.
Hanging in there on the changeup. That's one of Malone's better pitches for sure. Barely got a piece of that one.
Butler, after doing a little soul searching, now back in the batter's box. Malone reading the signs as Adduci getting his lead from second at the bottom of your screen. Another 2-2 is on the way. That will fill the count. So Butler, with nobody out, trying to get aboard to join Adduci. He'll be followed by the number 9 man, that's Craig Gentry. Butler, a 27-year-old from Pascagoula, Mississippi, waits. Now he's a little tired of waiting, so he backs out. And now Malone is ready to go. Payoff pitch on the way. Fouled away. We'll try it again. Butler was an 8th round draft pick, or 15th round, I should say, picked by the Rangers back in 2008 out of the University of New Orleans. Trying to get the Rangers at least even here in the second inning. 3-2 again. And another foul ball. Butler just doing enough to foul off tough pitches from Malone.
Well, he's still way out in front of the changeup, but he's getting a piece of it to hang in there, though. And he's seeing enough of them where eventually he'll get it timed.
Butler back in a slightly open stance. Medusi peering in from his vantage point at second. Another 3-2 for Malone is on the way. Call strike 3. Delayed call by Sam Holbrook, but Joey Butler caught admiring that fastball right on the inside corner.
He'd seen a lot of changeups, so the fastball might have surprised him a little bit. It was excellent location from Malone, trying to throw it in. And Joey might have had a little bit of an argument right there. It was definitely in, but by the looks of our pitch tracker, it was a little too far in.
So one away. Here's Craig Gentry for his first at bat of the afternoon. Gentry at 249. Craig, a couple of home runs. He has driven in 18. And the first pitch, a knee-high strike, 0-1. 3 for 6 in his career against Tommy Malone. Craig Gentry. Got a good on-base percentage. 100 points higher than his batting average. Medusi, the lead from second. And the pitch is a bit low. It's 1-1. Gentry, along with the majority of his teammates, really struggling in the last 6 ball games. 0-71, just 1 for 14 and 3 strikeouts. The 1-1 pitch coming from Malone. Now 2-1. Well, the Rangers doing a pretty good job of making Malone work. He up to 35 pitches with the next offering. And Malone, not a guy that is accustomed to high pitch counts. He's pretty much a contact kind of guy. Left-hander, check of second. Couple of looks back there. Now an inside move to spin around. See if he can get a Ducey. Headed toward third at the wrong time. Ducey, a leadoff single, a stolen base. 1 out later, he is still anchored at second base. And Craig Gentry trying to bring him home with a tying run. Changeup is low. It's 3 balls and a strike. So Gentry trying to get aboard from that number 9 spot and join a Ducey on base. He and Kinsler and the top of the Ranger order, waiting to be next. Gentry taking his time getting back in. Now he's set. And so is Tommy Malone. Inside ball 4. And there are 2 on for Ian Kinsler. First walk allowed by Malone. Good patient at bat by Craig Gentry.
5 out of the first 9 Ranger hitters have gotten on base. He hit the ball hard his first time up. Trying to hit it hard again, but this time find a hole.
Yeah, Ian lined to Coco Crisp in center field on the first pitch of the afternoon from Malone.
And now's when you want to get your extra base hit if you're Ian, because you've got Craig Gentry at first base, and he's going to score. Not a room down the left field line to pull one down the line, which Ian does frequently.
Ducey the lead from second, Gentry from first, and a pickoff at second with the second baseman Cayaspo cutting in behind Ducey. But there was no throw. Not too many secrets between these two clubs. They faced each other 19 and 20 times the last couple of years. So the A is very well aware of the Rangers' desire to double steal in situations like this. And they got the speed out in the base paths to do it with Ducey and Gentry. A's infield shifted slightly around to the left side for Kinsler. Ball on is low and inside. He had a couple hits in yesterday's ball game, and the first 5 games of this homestand, he's been a 300 hitter. On 6 for 20, is driven in 4. He's got a couple more teammates out there that he'd love to pick up. Malone's 1-0 pitch. Right center field, that could be trouble. Reddick going back. He's at the track, reaches up and makes the catch. Ducey tags at second and heads to third. Back to first is Gentry. What a play by Josh Reddick, running that ball down in as deep a right center field as you can have here.
Yeah, he just basically outran that ball. Ian really hit that ball well. A lot better than he hit the ball the first time up, really. Drove it 365 or 70 feet to right center field. Then Reddick, playing kind of average in right field, just sprinted into the shadow and ran it down right in front of the sign out there. That's a beautiful play.
Now that's one of those balls, Tom, we were talking about before about the lack of a jet stream.
Yeah.
The importance of it.
That's a home run.
Yeah, year before last year, that ball's in the bullpen and well back in the bullpen.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can say anything else other than this park is playing a lot different than it ever has before.
Yep.
You want to hit a home run to right center field now, you've got to hit a legitimate home run. No more wind tunnel out there.
The first and third now, but with 2 outs, and Elvis takes a fastball strike on the inner corner. Elvis, a base hit to right, his first time up there. So the average now at 271. We mentioned he is on a pretty good streak of driving in runs, 5 RBI in his last 3 ball games. One ball, 1 strike. And you look at the home run problems the Rangers have had the last 5 home games. They haven't had a home run. It's the longest home streak without a home run since '97. The last longer wasn't even in this ballpark. It was at the old stadium. They went 6 games at home without a home run. So this is very definitely a tougher place for the Rangers this year to hit home runs. Elvis chops one foul, and then the count moves to 1-2. Elvis up there with 2 outs, a 1-2 count on him. Runners at first and third. Rangers trailing 2-1. Elvis 25 RBI in the last 32 games. Hitting 255 for the year now with runners in scoring position. Ducey at third, Gentry at first. Malone with the 1-2 pitch. Just missed the inside corner, tried to get that fastball to come back to the corner and just missed. Well, it's 2-2. You'll remember the first time up, Elvis had a pitch out away from him that he drove the other way for the single. And it looks like Malone's really guarding against the same thing happening here. Left-hander sets. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive, but right at Cayaspo. A step to his left, and he picks it off his shoe top. Side retired despite a couple of hard hit balls, a hit and a walk, 2 left. On to the third we go, 2-1 Oakland. For live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Rangers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and a lot more. Just text At Bat to 31826, or you can visit TexasRangers.com for details. Now, he put his phone away, or I would have told him the number one more time, but oh well. We'll have to wait till the next time we do that. Well, the A's come to bat here, leading 2-1. Martin Perez to work, and Derek Barton, the number 9 hitter, takes inside for ball 1. It'll be Barton, Crisp, and Young to face Martin Perez. Barton, a .279 hitter, a couple of home runs, 12 RBI, and Perez nails the outside corner to even the count. Barton at one time felt by the A's to be their first baseman of the future, but they felt he was going to hit for a lot more power than he has shown in the early part of his career. Just hasn't developed into that power hitting quarter man that they thought he would be. Good hitter, average wise, but they were looking for somebody to provide power, and he wasn't it.
He provides a little bit of on base percentage. He walks a little bit.
Rolls over in a ground ball, and Kinsler a step or two onto the outfield grass. Flags it down and throws Barton out. One gone. Now back to the top of the order. And before Coco Crisp steps in, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Here's Emily Jones. Em? All right, Emily, and that will be the next opponent for the Rangers starting tomorrow. As you look at the AL wild card standings up to date, Rangers and Rays, identical records coming into play here this afternoon. Cleveland a game and a half back, the Yankees 3 back, Baltimore 3.5 back, and Kansas City 4. But Rangers going into Tampa Bay for a 4-game series against the Rays. 0-1 pitch to Crisp. That is a little bit low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. It's going to be interesting to see if the Rangers can bounce back in this ball game and then go down there with at least a little bit of a positive feeling about how they're playing the game of baseball. Chris pops it up. Kinsler making the call as he backpedals into shallow right field. Ian puts it away. 2 gone.
A couple of birthdays to mention today. James L. Allen from Granbury is 90 years old. Wayne Owen from Lubbock was 90 on the 13th. Gilbert Weesey from Temple was 94 years old yesterday. Warren and Dorothy Mims celebrating their 59th wedding anniversary. I should say celebrated it on 9/11. They're from Possum Kingdom. And Larry Smith from Arlington, 94 years old today.
Well, here's Chris Young, who looped a single to right field his first time up there. First pitch is outside to him. Young now hitting at 204 after that first inning single. 2 balls, no strikes. Martin Perez, next pitch, with a changeup, and couldn't get Young to offer at it. He thought about it, but pulled back at the last second. So the count goes to 3 balls, no strikes. If Young is able to prolong this top of the third, Jed Lowry, the shortstop, will be next for the A's. 3-0 pitch, and he got a knee-high strike. Young brings in a 6-game hitting streak. Make that a 7-game hitting streak. That base hit in the first inning extended it. Hits this one in the air to left center field, carrying pretty well. Gentry going back. He is at the wall, and that ball is gone. Well, Chris Young with the home run, and that thing really carried to left center field. And the A's now have a 3-1 lead.
Young, we mentioned him during this series. He's not having a really good season this year, but he's had some years in Arizona where one year he hit 30 home runs. He's hit 20 home runs a number of times. He got a fastball looked like right down the middle of the plate, and he showed the kind of power he's got. Drove that ball 412 feet into the bullpen.
And now first ball swinging, Jed Lowry drives one to right, but that is playable out there for Alex Rios. He puts it away, and that'll do it. But the A's add on a solo home run by Chris Young. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It's now the A's 3 and the Rangers 1. Is brought to you by the Built Ford Tough Sales Event at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Jack in the Box. Go big with Jack's really big chicken combo. Well, the sun kind of peering through the high overcast, a hazy afternoon here. And crowd dressed appropriately with some head cover and short sleeve shirts. A lot of sunscreen out here. 3-1 Oakland. Rangers come to bat with Alex Rios, Adrian Beltre, and A.J. Przinsky. The three do-ups against Tommy Milone. Rios, a fly ball to right. First time up, and he grounds one just foul down the third baseline. It is 0-1. Rios hitting at an even 280 now as he bats leading off the Ranger third inning. Hits are even at 4, but the A's have utilized a pair of home runs. And therefore, they lead 3-1. A ball and a strike to Alex. 1 for 4 yesterday and hitting .286 on this current homestand. This is the 6th game of the stand for the Rangers. A strike is called. It's 1-2. Milone to the wind. And misses high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Alex Rios, last 11 games, has been a .357 hitter. He has done a very solid job since coming over to the Rangers. And he takes low and inside. The count is now full. So Rios trying to get aboard to start off the Ranger third inning. He'll be followed by the cleanup hitter, Adrian Beltre.
Well, the Rangers have made Milone throw a lot of pitches. They've also hit the ball hard. They've had 4 hits in the game, but at least 3 of their outs have been well hit, especially the one with 2 men on that Ian hit to right center field.
Way off pitch. Got him swinging. Wow. Yep. Great changeup. Strikeout number 3 for Milone. And Rios gone. 1 away for Adrian Beltre.
Well, he just threw it in a 3-2 count, and Alex is obviously thinking fastball. And he throws him a really good changeup and had him well out in front of it. A good pitch by Milone. It's kind of his bread and butter pitch, the ability to be able to throw his changeup at any point in time in the count.
Beltre had a solid single to left field his first time. And takes pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. You ever face a guy, Tom, that had a good changeup and threw it inside to you?
I don't really remember. I don't know that they threw it there on purpose.
Yeah,
might have had a few that ended up there.
It's if you have the kind of changeup that Milone does, where your arm action is good, a lot of guys claim that every once in a while throwing it inside, especially in a swinging count like that, gets a hitter really messed up. Because you think it's fastball, and so you see the ball coming inside to you, and you're even quicker than you normally are.
Yeah, I never thought of it, but that makes sense.
I wouldn't suggest making a habit.
How many times did you ever try that?
I never did try it. Never did try it, not on purpose.
I think it is the mark of a good changeup, though, that you can throw it inside or up and in the middle of the plate and have a guy miss it and be way out in front of it. Generally, the feeling is if you keep it down and away, even if a guy times it, he's not going to be able to do much with it.
2-1 to Beltre. In the air down the right side. That's going to twist back and go out of play.
But certain guys are waiting fastball all the way, and they're just susceptible to a changeup, no matter where it is, up, down, in or out. They're just geared up to hit the fastball so much, and definitely in certain counts.
Beltre, despite running through a tough stretch on this homestand, has hit .350. 5 games and driven in a couple. Run production has fallen off for Adrian. That's been the most noticeable difference for him. Trying to get that back on track. He has a 2-ball, 2-strike count here with 1 out. Milone back to the plate. And this one's popped up. Derek Martin right next to the railing. Now puts the brakes on and makes the grab. Beltre is out as that pop fly just stayed in playable territory. So 2 gone. A.J. Przinsky now will step in. A.J. had the RBI in the first inning, a 2-out single that plated Elvis Andrus with what so far is the only Ranger run of the afternoon. Malone, a long look in. Now he goes to the wind. 1 ball, no strikes. AJ making his 100th start behind the plate for the Rangers today. Pulls it on the ground to the right side. Nice stop by Kayasme. Scrambles up plenty of time to throw to first, and that'll do it. So the Rangers sent down an order for the first time this afternoon. We'll go to the 4th inning. It's the A's 3, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Hispanic Heritage Month. A lot of entertainment going on around the ballpark, and this is a mariachi band, of course. Mario, what are we expected to hear here?
We're going to play Viva Mexico for everybody.
All right, let's hear it real quick, guys.
Viva México, viva México, consuelo bendito de Dios. Viva México,
Viva Mexico! Mexico! Yes, very nice, guys. All right. There we go. Very nice. He'll be playing all day long right here, Buzz.
Are you going to join him, Jim? That's pretty good.
I'll sit in. I'll walk a couple laps, come back, and sit in a couple times.
That's impressive stuff. No Noxie had that in him.
I didn't either.
We know now.
Just a versatile guy.
3 balls and a strike. The count to Josh Donaldson leading off the A's 4th inning. Donaldson with his 23rd home run, a 362-foot rocket that got out of here to left field back in the 1st inning. Donaldson, a 303 hitter now. And he takes high, ball 4. Now being a little bit careful, Martin Perez walks his first man of the afternoon. A leadoff pass puts Donaldson aboard. Derek Norris, the catcher, coming out.
Catcher Derek Norris.
Norris, a fly ball to right back in the 1st inning. So the A's catcher now 1 for 4 in his career against Martin Perez. And a modest 2-game hitting streak going. And he takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Norris back off the disabled list on the 5th of September. Since coming back into the lineup, 6 for 15 in 5 games. This is 3rd start behind the plate. He had been out with a broken bone in his big toe. Donaldson at first after the leadoff walk. A's leading 3-1. The hits are even at 4. The A's have put a couple more runs on the board to go along with their 4 hits. And Perez fires about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball over there that Medusi had to come off the bag to catch. Martin still a very modest pitch count. This next pitch will be his 40th of the afternoon. And a good fastball and it tied Norris up, had the inside corner. It's 1-1. Very light breeze blowing in from center field. Very sticky afternoon. Temperature in the low 90s. And Perez misses just off that inside corner. 2-1 now to Norris. A's now with a 5.5 game lead over the Rangers in the Western Division. And you would probably think if the Rangers are not able to salvage this final game that lead pretty much insurmountable as far as the division is concerned. Rangers, of course, still very much right in the mix for the wild card.
Yeah, even last year in September when the Rangers had a big lead, it was never I don't think it was ever 5.5 games.
Right.
So that lead's going to be very difficult. And you don't want to say with this much time left that you need to focus on the wild card race, but that's kind of what it's getting to right now.
Yeah, and you know the Rangers really need to focus first of all on getting back to playing their kind of baseball. I mean, it just has.
Yeah, if that doesn't happen, it doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't, and it hasn't been that way now for. They haven't played their kind of baseball for the last, well, at least this last homestand. But you can go back further than that. Go back to that last homestand before this when Minnesota was in for 3 games. Norris rifles one toward the corner in left field. That is going to the wall. Donaldson being held up at third base now. Into second is Norris. Boy, Norris just crunched that 3-1 pitch from Martin Perez. If he'd gotten it airborne, he would have left the ballpark. But as it is, runners at second and third with nobody out. And Alberto Callaspo will be the hitter, and Mike Maddox headed out to the mound.
That's kind of the subtleties of baseball. You get a leadoff walk, then you get behind 3-1. You've already walked one guy. You don't want to walk the second one. So he's up there looking for a fastball. You have to throw him a fastball to throw a strike. And he puts a good swing on it and ripped that ball sharply down the line. Now it's second and third and nobody out. Yeah, it's one thing, Buzz, if you're 5.5 games behind a team that's not playing very well, might be limping to the finish line, but right now the Rangers are 5.5 games behind a very good team with excellent pitching that's at the top of their game right now, which just makes it look like it's not that likely to happen.
Yeah, in all reality, it's going to be extremely difficult to get the division, but getting a wild card berth certainly is within the realm of possibility, and would be, I think, what the Rangers would shoot for right now. The infield pulled all the way in with Callaspo at the plate. First pitch to him, a rip and a miss at that good tailing fastball. Callaspo reached on an error his first time up. A little roller just past the mound, and Kinsler made a nice play. The throw, though, to first, Jim Medusi couldn't come up with it. 0-1 pitch here. Oh, Martin Perez a little sinking action on that fastball. 0-2.
He swung at it like it was a changeup.
Callaspo pretty efficient, better than the league average about getting runners home. Perez ready, and now time call. Second and third, nobody out. Rangers trying to keep this at a 2-run disadvantage. It's 3-1 Oakland. Martin Perez working to Alberto Callaspo. Perez working from the extreme third base side of the pitching rubber. Fouled away to the right. Cayaspo expanding the zone a bit. Cayaspo, pretty tough to strike out. In fact, he is the toughest to strike out in the American League. One every 12.2 at bats for Cayaspo. So trying to get the punch out of him right now, maybe a little bit more than you can expect, but doesn't mean you can't get him to hit the ball softly somewhere. Again, the 0-2 pitch coming from Perez. In the dirt, nice stop by A.J. Przinsky. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, A.J. in the last 3 weeks has probably played the position of catcher as well as I've seen him play it. Thrown well, throwing out almost 50% of the runners of late, trying to steal on him and blocking everything in sight. Perez sets the 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. I forget what I said about the strikeout.
Well, you know, he is the hardest to strike out. Doesn't mean he never strikes out,
That's
though.
true.
He strikes out about as many times as the home run leader hits a home run.
That's the first strikeout for Martin Perez.
He went down with a sinker, and then he goes up with a fastball. They get him to chase it. Got him to swing at both of them. One of them was way down in the bottom of the strike zone. That one's a little bit out of the strike zone. But a good result. Second and third. Now there's one out.
It's just the 39th strikeout this year for Cayaspo and over 400 at bats. Here's Nate Fryman, the DH. Oh, and he gets fisted.
Wow.
That's as good as a strikeout right there. As a matter of fact, it's better. He only took 1 pitch. Jim Aducey in foul ground puts it away. And that is out number 2 with Josh Reddick coming up. Well, folks, catch all of the action of the 2013 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox, TBS, and the MLB Network. And that starts October the 1st. Plus, keep up with all the postseason scheduling information at TexasRangers.com/postseason. A strikeout, a little pop-up, 2 gone. And Josh Reddick, who flied to center field, will step to the plate. Reddick at 214 with the average. Martin Perez trying to work around a second and third no out situation without giving up a run. Reddick takes a strike. It is 0-1. Infield now with 2 outs, back at their normal depth and slightly around to the right side for the left-handed hitting Reddick. There is strike 2.
I don't know what Mike Maddox told him, but it was very effective.
You get a strikeout and pop out and go after Reddick. The crowd getting behind Martin Perez. The left-hander deals. Left center field. Gentry on his horse into the alley. Reaches up and hauls it in. Nice play by Craig Gentry. One stepping into the wall, and he comes down with it. And, oh, what a job by Martin Perez. Bottom of the 4th coming up. 3-1 Oakland. Sports Southwest for Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. Now we get ready to go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Rangers trying to give all the youngsters out here and their folks a great experience. Trying to mount a comeback. They trail 3-1, and we'll see what that excellent job of pitching by Martin Perez might have done to shift this momentum back in the Rangers' favor. Jeff Baker, Jim Adduci, and Joey Butler, the first three Rangers, to face Tommy Milone. Milone has retired the last 5 consecutively, and Jeff Baker starts things off by going after the first pitch and skies to right field. A lazy fly ball out there for Reddick, and one pitch, one away here in the Ranger fourth. That'll bring up Jim Adduci. Adduci led off the Rangers' second inning by singling to right. Swiped second, but was stranded there. Rangers hit the ball sharply in that second inning a couple of times, but to no avail. Line drive to right, a line drive to second. And that stranded a couple of runners. Rangers have left 4 on base so far today. Malone's first pitch. Fastball, knee high, strike one. Adduci, a .298 hitter at AAA Round Rock this year. At 24 doubles, 16 home runs, and 32 stolen bases in 127 games for the Express. 1-1 delivery. There's a base hit to right if it gets down. And just enough topspin on it. Dropped in front of Reddick and Jim Adduci with his second hit of the afternoon.
Yeah, Jim continues to have nice, solid at-bats. Making some contact, getting his base hits. Not a lot of at-bats, but he came into the game hitting .308. He's got a couple of hits in this ball game, so it's been a nice opportunity for Jim after the way he finished in AAA. He had a great last month of the season. He got called up. I'm sure he wasn't expecting to get a lot of playing time, but he's getting his share of playing time now coming down the stretch, making the most out of it.
Now 1 on, 1 out. Here's Joey Butler for his second at bat. He was up there the first time with Adduci at first. That time is with nobody out. That's when Adduci swiped second on what looked to be a missed hit and run, or hit and run that Butler swung through. Adduci still able to beat the throw to second. 1 ball and no strikes here. Butler with 1 RBI and 7 at-bats, a couple of hits at the major league level. Milone a check of first. He will go that way with a soft toss. Now Milone ready once again. The 1-0 pitch. That evens things to Butler at 1-1. Butler led Round Rock this year in runs scored. He had 70 of them. He also had 68 walks. That was the most on the club. 119 games for Butler. 2-1 now as the pitch is low. The Rangers trying to bounce back. The A's scored 2 in the first. Rangers came back with 1 in the bottom half of the inning. And then in the third inning, he's got another solo run. So they lead 3-1. 2-2 now. Butler checking with Gary Pettistan at third. I think Gary gave him the double sign. See if Adduci can score on it.
I'd like to see him get the opportunity to try.
He's going, and he was going to score. If he hit a double,
he would have scored on that one.
He would have scored. And Ducey will make that U-turn, head back to first. Butler fouled off the first 2-2 pitch.
You see where Robinson Cano bunted for a double the other day? They had the shift down. He slapped a bunt down the third baseline and turned it into a double.
Wily veteran, Robinson Cano.
I think we probably said that on more than one occasion this year. If a Ranger hitter with that shift could slap a bunt down the third baseline, they'd have a chance for a double.
Yep. Butler takes that changeup that floated outside, so the count has gone full. Butler trying to get aboard to follow Ducey. Craig Gentry waiting in the on-deck circle to be next. Malone sets. Ducey the lead from first. He's going. Pitch is grounded foul outside third. And we'll come back and try it again. Butler back in the batter's box. He is waiting as Malone reads the signs. Left-hander's ready, and will go first base way to drive Ducey back. Derek Martin, the A's first baseman over there. Butler set, so is Malone. Again, the 3-2 with Ducey going. A looper to right field. On comes Reddick. He can't get there. And it will drop for a base hit, but Ducey held up at second base. I think he got kind of caught in between and didn't really know if Reddick was going to get it. Had Reddick caught it, he would have been thrown out anyway.
Yeah, he was in a no man's land, and your instincts tell you to stop when you feel that way, that it might be caught. But once you get to here, there's no sense stopping. You might as well just keep going. I don't know if he could have got there anyway. Reddick has an excellent arm, and he was so close to second base, it probably didn't matter. It's going to be first and second anyway.
No, back-to-back one-out hits. 2 aboard now for Craig Gentry. Rangers now with 6 base hits this afternoon. Problem is they've all been singles. Able to, with the exception of the first inning, get anything put together. They're trying to now with 1 out. Gentry drew a walk in the second. Ducey peering in from his leadoff vantage point at second base. Joey Butler at first. And a fly ball on the first pitch to right center field. Reddick under it, makes the catch, and his arm, boy, he got a cannon out there. He aired it out, made Ducey stay at second. That is out number 2, and it'll bring up Ian Kinsler with 2 on and 2 out. Apparently Coco Crisp kind of getting on Reddick a bit, showing off his arm.
So you throw, yeah, he's probably said to him, you throw just like I do.
Right-handed.
Reddick said, yeah, in your dreams.
So Jesse Chavez, the right-hander, loosening in the A's bullpen. Now here's Kinsler, who has lined out twice today, once to center and then once to deepest right center. He sent Josh Reddick all the way back to the Snapple sign on the wall right in front of the Ranger bullpen out there. That was a critical one. That was with 2 on and just 1 out in the second inning. Ian at 314 with runners in scoring position this year. Malone back to the plate. Misses low and inside. 2-0. Ducey, the lead runner, at second. Joey Butler at first. They both singled. They're there with 2 outs now. And Kinsler takes a strike. Just did catch the inside corner at the knees. Two and one. Malone back to the plate. And Kinsler fouls off the changeup. 2-2 now. Bob Melvin and Kurt Young as pitching coach. Keeping a very close eye on Tommy Malone. Malone has had very inconsistent work since being recalled from AAA. Spots out of the bullpen, one spot start. And a lot of time in between outings. Now the 2-2 to Kinsler. Call strike three. Kinsler rung up by Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire. And the Rangers strand two more runners on two hits. We're going to the fifth inning. It remains the A's 3, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Oakland, and as always on our Fox Sports Southwest telecast, Mark McLemore, who joins us for the fifth inning. Mark, of course, the co-host of Rangers Live before and after Ranger ball games. Mac, I wish we had something real positive to talk about, but there isn't real positive to talk about. Ball club keeps on fighting back, but that means they've been in holes every time, too. They've had to fight back.
It's tough to continually try and climb yourself out of a hole every day, day in and day out, especially this time of the year. So it'd be nice if they could get on top and try and hold on to something as opposed to trying to scrape out of something.
Derek Barton leads off and fouls off the first pitch. Yeah, they have not had, I couldn't believe this when I first was told about it. They have not had a lead this entire homestand. They have not had one inning where they, at the end of that full inning, they've led a ball game in this homestand. This is the sixth game.
Wow. No, I wouldn't believe that either. That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. A's, in this series, the A's have scored in the first inning of each game. And that's adding insult to injury. You're not playing well, and all of a sudden you find yourself down before you ever have a chance to bat.
That hurts. You don't want to be down every time. Every time you look up, you're looking up. And that just makes it difficult. When you're facing good pitching, you're facing a good team, it's hard to keep coming back against good teams.
1-2 the count to Derek Barton. You got to give Oakland a lot of credit, though. They have done things the way they've done them ever since the All-Star break, apparently, or at least since August. They have capitalized on whatever mistake the Rangers made. They've gotten timely hits, and they've worked counts and gotten runners on base. And those are pretty good ingredients to scoring runs.
And they pitched well.
Yeah.
They've pitched well. They've caught the ball. They've done all the things that they needed to do on a consistent basis to win ball games.
The 2-2 to Barton. Got him swinging. Martin Perez with his second strikeout. That's how the fifth inning begins. Now back at the top of the Oakland order.
Looked like a good changeup that had Barton way out in front of it. Swinging at it like it's fastball, like he's trying to hit it into the upper deck in right field.
No, one out for Coco Crisp. Crisp singled and scored in the first inning. Last time up, popped out to second. And he takes the strike. It is 0-1. .255 the average for the switch hitting center fielder. 19 home runs. He is really having a great year power-wise. It's a career high for Coco Crisp, but well, that's impressive for this club to have your leadoff man with that kind of an offensive year and throw in the stolen bases to boot. You got an all-around guy that can really do things for you.
That is pretty good. And, you know, he's not a guy that's, you know, been a power guy in his career. This is an exceptional year power-wise for him.
Topper foul, and the count will go to 1-2. Yeah, even more surprising, I think, for Coco Crisp, he's not playing in a ballpark in Oakland for half the games that was really conducive to hitting a lot of home runs, even for the big guys.
No, and you know what, though? The home runs that I've seen him hit, it wouldn't have mattered where they were playing. They were going out, so he's jumped into a bunch of them, the ones that I've seen him. So he didn't, you know, I've not seen him hit any wall scrapers.
Yeah. Alexio, oh, we did see him, however, hit a pole scraper.
We did see that. Yeah.
Hit the foul pole by maybe a millimeter of the ball. I think it hit a seam. Beltre has that ball go right off the tip of his glove as he backed up. And Chris will be aboard. Butler had a little trouble getting it in out there in left field, but Adrian Beltre very uncharacteristically backing up and not being able to play the bigger hop.
We saw Donaldson do that the other day. Adrian didn't back up quite as far, but Mac, you can probably talk about that kind of a play.
Yeah, normally you see Beltre come in and get that, especially with a speedy Coco Crisp up. You want to come and get that a little bit. I mean, if he catches it, he makes the play. But normally you see him come in and get that. And, you know, unfortunately it took a bad hop, and you see him looking right there at that hop, you know, look and see what it hit.
That ball must have hit a cleat mark. That ball went straight to the right toward shortstop.
Yeah.
No wonder he didn't catch it.
A one on with one out. And the first pitch to Chris Young is a strike. Still trying to decide what that ruling should be.
I think the way the ball bounced toward shortstop, there wasn't much he could do, really.
Yeah, they're going to give him a base hit. Steve Weller, the official scorer, deciding that, along with you, Tom, that ball was not really playable for a normal third baseman. Could be a double play if they can get it quickly enough to second. They cannot. Looked like Elvis couldn't stop and set himself as he had to catch that ball. Well, the force play, that takes Chris off the base paths, but it puts Chris Young at first. There are two outs now. And Jed Lowry coming up.
That's a tough ball to turn two on with Chris Young at the plate and running. He's jammed a little bit inside, didn't get out of the box very well, but he can still get down that line. And with Elvis having to go to his right, that's going to be a tough ball to turn two on.
Well, the Rangers had already turned a couple of double plays this afternoon. But they have two outs. Young at first. Lowry grounded into that double play in the first inning. Also flied to right. 0 for 2 today. Young with good speed, establishing his lead, and Perez will drive him back to the bag. Lowry also a switch hitter. Although for Lowry, hitting right-handed is a plus for most of the switch hitters we talked about in this series. That is not the case. Lowry a .303 right-handed hitter as opposed to .277 from the left side. Martin Perez giving Jim Adducci a little workout over there, made him reach around Chris Young to get that last throw. Young, 8 stolen bases in 11 opportunities. And skied to center field. Way up in the air, Gentry coming on, and a long way in, but he had plenty of time to get there. So that'll do it in the 5th. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left. We played half the ball game. The A's 3, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Elvis Andrus, Alex Rios, Adrian Beltre. First 3 to face Tommy Milone. And Milone has done a very credible job on short notice. He was not scheduled to pitch today, at least to start. Gary Parker was, but he came up ill. He's got the flu. Well, Tommy Milone pressed into service, and so far he's only given up a run on 6 hits to the Rangers through the first 4 innings.
And he started twice this year against the Rangers. He was 0-2 with an ERA of 12. Giving up 12 runs in 9 innings against the Rangers in his first 2 starts. Big improvement today. Rangers have left some men on base. 6 to be exact in 4 innings.
Now here's Elvis, who scored back in the first inning, the only Ranger to cross home plate. 1 for 2. 1 ball, no strikes. Elvis at an even 270 as Milone comes back to him. There's that changeup again. Off speed down, and Elvis out in front of it. Hayes outfield plays Elvis slightly around to the right. They give him a pretty good gap in left center field. And Milone hits the outside corner, a tailing fastball. It's 1-2. You see in the infield, and you got Callaspo, the second baseman, playing in a couple of steps. That's one of the ways that the A's try to defend against a bunt from Elvis. Pitch all the way to the backstop, 2-2. Elvis back in, Milone reading the signs. And the left-hander's next pitch. High and tight. Straightened him up. The count has gone full. Well, Elvis trying to start off the Ranger 5th by getting aboard. Alex Rios will be next as you get a look at a little calling card from Milone. Payoff pitch on the way. Just barely got that off the end of the bat for a foul ball.
Another example of Malone liking to use that changeup in a 3-2 count. Got Alex Rios with one of his 4 strikeouts on that same pitch.
Elvis back in there. Eric Norris, the A's catcher, back down to flash out the signs. Another 3-2. Got him swinging.
Do it again.
Did it again. Back-to-back changeups. Strikeout number 5 for Malone. 1 away for Rios.
You got to be feeling pretty confident about yourself if you can throw 3-2 changeups and 4 strike. That's a pretty nice pitch.
Well, that's such a weapon if you have it. And, you know, Malone, you've seen the radar readings this afternoon. His fastball maybe tops out at 88. And that changeup, 7 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour slower. Must look like an identical pitch coming out of his hand to hitters.
Yeah, it has to. And that's what fools guys. And, you know, most people say, well, it's slower than the fastball. How come you can't hit it? Well, the problem with it is it looks exactly like a fastball and usually 7 to 10 miles an hour slower. So you think you see fastball and you start your swing, and the next thing you know, you can probably take 3 swings before it gets there.
Like one of the cartoons.
Who stands out for you, Mac, as one of the best changeups that you faced? Were there any guys, Fred?
Oh, my goodness. Probably can't think of a straight change guy. The guys that really were really good that I didn't like were guys that had splitters. I didn't like those.
I don't blame you.
Rios lines to right. That's out number 2. What about Santana, Johan Santana?
His was pretty good. I could pick it up actually, so he wasn't that difficult for me. I didn't offer at it too much.
Of course, when you couple that with a 95 or 96 mile an hour fastball,
that's an issue.
That creates a whole different scenario. Beltre 1 for 2, Adrian a first inning single, and he will round out to second base as Caiasso up with it, and a very quick and tidy 1-2-3 Ranger fifth. We finished 5, the A's leading 3-1. Mac, thanks for joining us. We will see you after the ball game on Rangers Live.
All right.
All new Mazda 6. When you change everything, you change everything. 3-1 Oakland. Kind of billowing clouds ringing the ballpark on this partly sunny afternoon here in North Texas. A's 3 runs on 6 hits. Rangers 1 run on 6 hits. And Martin Perez going to work. And Josh Donaldson takes a strike to the outside corner. Donaldson back up to his evil ways against the Rangers. A solo home run in the first, a walk in the fourth inning. So 1 for 1. Perez trying to figure out a way to get him out. It's a pretty good pitch. It's fouled at home plate. 0-2. Well, the Coors Light cold hard fact for you this afternoon. Oakland 68 home runs as a team since the All-Star break. That's the most in the American League and tied for the most in all of Major League Baseball. They and the Washington Nationals with 68 round triples. Here's the A's with a couple today. Difference in the ball game, as a matter of fact. A pair of solo home runs. Up the middle, that's right where Kinsler was positioned. He flips it sidearm onto first, and Donaldson retired for the first time this afternoon. And let's go over and say hello once again to Jim Knox. Jim?
All right, Buzz, we have a great story here. This is a 3-generation family. Sonny, explain this.
Well, we have Bob Fagreas, who's 92 years old, original night fighter, fighter pilot, flew at night missions in World War II. We have his son, Kurt, and his granddaughter, Kendall. And they're here from Kurt and Kendall from Plano, Texas. Bob is from Dallas. And his wife down here, or my wife, not Bob's wife, his daughter, Karen, we're from Austin.
I understand Bob's a big Nolan Ryan fan. Got to meet Nolan Ryan. He's sitting right in front of you. What do you think about Nolan?
He's still holding it pretty good.
All right, Bob. Well, good to have you out here. Appreciate it, and we'll let you enjoy the rest of the game. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Let's
appreciate it. Yeah, let's go Rangers, Buzz.
All right, Jim, thank you. 3 generations at the ballpark. That's great. Eric Norris fouls off the Martin Perez pitch, and that evens the count now at a ball and a strike. Norris rifled a double into the left field corner his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Season average, as you can see, at .245. Perez into the wind. The pitch floats outside. 2-1 to Norris. Norris now 4 out of 6 in this series. He started at DH here on Friday night against Derek Holland. Rip and a miss. There's a pretty good changeup from Martin.
Yeah, Martinez, after he gave up the walk and the double in the fourth inning, settled down nicely. Throwing another solid ball game. Those 3 runs in 5 or 6 innings look a lot better when your team is scoring runs.
Yeah.
When you're not scoring, it feels like you're having a bad day.
Call strike 3. Well, he just tied up Norris. Hog-tied him. That is out number 2, the 3rd strikeout for Martin Perez.
Not a good pitch right in the outside corner. Actually, right down the middle of the plate. Looked like it from our angle that it was on the outside corner. We're not directly behind the pitcher, though.
So 2 away. Alberto Callaspo is at the plate now. Callaspo reached on an error his first time and struck out last time. He aligns this one just foul down the left field line. Karam's all around that left field corner, and Joe West, the very emphatic call of foul, pointed with his left hand ever so slightly. Joe doesn't want to exert himself. Now, yesterday...
It might pull a muscle.
I'm not going to see Joe West this time, I don't think. Joe West yesterday behind the plate. Long day. It was a tough day out there. He did a great job of holding up all that gear on and having to work 9 innings behind the plate. So he's taking a little bit of rest and relaxation down there in third today. 1-1 pitch. Good changeup. A ball and 2 strikes. Callaspo at 252 overall. Ground ball with Beltre charges as it come in belt high to him across the diamond. And there's a 1-2-3 inning for Martin Perez. A's down in order. We have finished 5 1/2. It's the A's 3, the Rangers 1 Fox Sports Southwest. Slam inning brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $1,800 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Today, the Rangers are hitting for Lisa Washer from Justin. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Lisa Washer from Justin will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Well, as A.J. Przinsky steps to the plate, he will not be facing Tommy Milone. Milone finished after 5 innings of work. Dan Otero, the right-hander, has answered the call coming out of the bullpen, and he will face the Rangers here in the 6th.
Otero's got some pretty good numbers, a 1.60 ERA. Not many walks either, only 5 walks in 33 innings. Is a good sinker ball, hasn't given up a home run.
Otero worked 2/3 of an inning here on Friday night. And A.J. Przinsky fouls back that first pitch. A fastball got him on the knuckles. It is 0-1. Przinsky drove in the only Ranger run thus far in the first inning in a single with 2 outs, plating Elvis Andrus. Otero sets. And again, a fastball inside. The Przinsky fouls back to the screen. Otero making no bones about what he wanted to do with Przinsky. Coming right at him off the plate inside. A.J. 1 for 3 against the A's right-hander. 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Up the ladder, and A.J. got off a rung too short. No, 1 away. And Jeff Baker, the scheduled hitter, the DH, not being called back. It'll be Jurickson Profar coming off the Ranger bench to pinch hit. So Baker finishes the afternoon 0 for 2. And now Profar, the switch hitter, will come up there and bat from the left side. Profar at .235 for the year. 5 home runs, 25 driven in. And first ball swinging, it's out of play off to the left of home plate. Profar in his last 5 ball games, just 2 for 17. It's a 118 mark. It has been a tough time for the young man to make adjustments. He got off to a good start, but as he got around the league, then pitchers adjusting to him, and he lines this to center field. That was a base hit. That's probably as aggressive as we've seen Profar, going up there and taking 2 good hacks at pitches that he saw from Otero, and he singled on the second one.
That's about as hard as ball's been hit today. Been a few hard hit balls. That's certainly one of them right there. It's a good pitch to hit. Ready for it. Rips it into center field.
Well, that is the 7th Ranger hit of the afternoon. Profar aboard. Jim Adducci will come up for his 3rd at bat. He is 2 for 2, a pair of singles. The Rangers now have Adducci at the plate representing the tying run here in the 6th inning. And sinking fastball at the knees outside corner for strike 1. Adducci waiting as Otero sets. Laid off that high fastball. 1-1 the count. Profar a modest lead at first. And Otero misses low and outside. So Adducci now in the hitter's count of 2-1. Rangers trying to find some kind of spark here this Sunday afternoon. See if they can't win the final game of this homestand and of this series with the A's. And that is low. It's 3-1.
I mentioned Otero doesn't walk many. He's only walked 5 in 33 innings.
So Adducci trying to get aboard. Another pinch hitter out of the on-deck circle. That is David Murphy with the scheduled hitter, a right-hander, Joey Butler. Profar establishing his lead at first. The 3-1 pitch coming from Otero. Instead, he wheels and throws to first. Profar back with the dive. Otero ready once again. A check of first. And a rip foul tip straight down. The count is now full to Adducci. Adducci checking with Gary Pettis down there at third to see what is going to be happening with Profar at first. 3-2 with 1 out. Otero. He'll drive Profar back again. Gary threw the signs across the diamond to Jurickson Profar at first, also to Jim Adducci. 3-2 with 1 out. Again, the toss to first drives Profar back. Crowd getting a little bit restless. They want to see some Ranger action. Set again. Profar on the move. The pitch is lined down the left field line, but it slices foul. Foul by 4 or 5 feet. We will come back and try it again. A good job by Adducci of going the other way, and he almost was able to get that down for extra bases. So Profar making his way back to first base and Adducci back to the plate. Otero, a long look in, now has the sign he wants. Again he sets, again Profar on the move, and another foul down the left side. This one well back and out of play into the seats. You see Otero making sure to keep that ball away from Adducci. Not catching much of the plate. Profar after his single at first. Otero again checks him as he sets. Profar on the move. The pitch is grounded through the vacated second base hole into right field. Profar continues on around to third. And Adducey taking advantage of Cayaspo going to the bag to cover. Rounds a single to right, his third straight hit. And the Rangers have the tying runs on with one out. And David Murphy coming up.
Oh, the runner moving. Someone needs to cover second base. You can see where Cayaspo is. He's shading that way anyway. He's closest to the bag, so he was covering. And the ground ball, which normally looks like a routine ground ball to second, turns into a base hit. First and third with only one out.
Now David Murphy now will come up as the pinch hitter against Dan Otero. Ranger pinch hitters have done an excellent job even before Profar had the base hit in this inning. That was their 31st hit of the year, which is the most in the American League. And David Murphy, a big rip and a foul tip. It's 0-1. Pinch hitters now 32 hits for the year as Murph takes one outside. Average at 277 before Profar's hit, was second in the league. That has gone up just a click or two. Murph hitting at 220. At 13 home runs, 44 RBI. Fly ball left field, not very deep. Young coming on. He's there to make the catch, and Profar has to hold as the throw comes into the plate. So Murphy skies the shallow left, not able to score Profar. There are now two outs, and Craig Gentry has been pulled back to the dugout. It'll be Leonis Martin coming up as the pinch hitter.
The Rangers left 2 on in the first inning, 2 on in the second inning, 2 on in the fourth, and now they've got 2 on here in the sixth. Trying to get that hit.
Otero facing Leonis Martin. Leonis, a 262 hitter. He has 7 home runs, 38 RBI, 0 for 3 yesterday, and having a tough homestand. He's just 2 for 17. That's a 118 mark. But up there with the tying runs on base here in the 6th inning against the A's. Oakland leading 3-1. Otero's first pitch is low for ball 1. Jerry Blevins, the veteran left-hander, now up and throwing in the Oakland bullpen. And Jesse Chavez, who we saw earlier, is loose if needed to come into this ball game. 1 ball, no strikes for Leonis Martin. Fouled back. Martin 1 for 2 in his career against Otero. Leonis has, if you go back over the last 12 games, hit safely in 9 of them, but over the last 24 games, hitting below 200. And he skies to shallow left center field. Lowry, the shortstop, underneath it, makes the catch, and the Rangers waste a golden opportunity. Fly ball and a pop out, and they strand 2 on a pair of hits. After 6, it is 3-1 Oakland, and let's go to Emily Jones for a Mazda game break. Our Ford game summary this afternoon. A lot of damage early for both ball clubs. It's 3-1 Oakland. They scored 2 in the first. Added 1 in the third. Rangers came back with 1 in the bottom of the first. But A's have had home runs by Donaldson and Young. The difference in this ball game. Martin Perez working here in the 7th inning. Nate Fryman, the DH, starting off the bottom third of the Oakland order. 1-1 pitch. The changeup is a little bit low. It's 2-1. Fryman has grounded into a double play and popped out. 281 the average for the tall, lanky Oakland A. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Athletics. 1 run on 8 hits for the Rangers. Rangers missing opportunities galore in this ball game, especially in the last few innings. But that could be pretty well the summary for what's gone on in the last few weeks.
Pretty much.
3-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 4. And Martin Perez missing badly to walk Fryman to start off this 7th inning.
Well, he retired 5 in a row, throwing the ball pretty well. It's only his 2nd walk of the game. He's had 2 walks or less in 15 of his 17 starts.
Well, Fryman aboard, and now a couple of left-handers down at the bottom of the order. Josh Reddick to be the first of those 2. Reddick has twice flied out, both times to center. Boy, and he hammers that high and deep down the right field line, but that's hooking foul. Had plenty of distance. But, Alex Rios over there to make sure that it stayed in the seats. He was blowing with all his might, pushing that thing foul. Perez ready for the 0-1. And a pop foul to the left. 0-2 now.
Oh, nice play. Guy caught it with his hat. That'll work. On one like that. Line drive is a little tougher. And having no one sitting in front of you helps out a little bit too.
Reddick back in there. Perez ready for the 0-2 pitch. He will come back and try it again. Rangers looking for that double play ground ball. They've already turned 2 here this afternoon. And Reddick spoiling another pitch from Perez.
That guy never moved out of his seat, never stood up, took one look to his right, reached up, caught it. That was it. Like, ended up with a ball, didn't raise it up over his head, didn't act like he was surprised, act like it was supposed to come right to him.
He knew he was perfectly positioned for that ball. Another 0-2 pitch. Now 1-2 to Reddick. Reddick has shown signs of coming back to life. Again, he has battled injury problems all year, and he pulls this one through the hole on the right side in for a base hit. Stopping at second is Nate Fryman, and a broken bat, a shattered bat. But Reddick has it a seeing eye looper to right. 2 on and nobody out. Derek Barton coming up.
That's an off-speed pitch. Reached out, hit it right off the end of the bat, but found a hole. Like Jamal Weeks is going to run at second base for Fryman.
You know, a conference on the mound making sure that Adrian Beltre is able to get the proper defensive assignments meted out to his infield teammates. Barton the hitter, and you would figure that with runners at first and second in a two-run ball game here in the 7th, he'd be trying to bunt the runners across.
Well, Adrian at third base, Jim Ducey at first are thinking that. They're way in, probably getting ready to come in more.
First pitch to Barton. He's around a bunt, and he has that thrown right up under his chin. He fouled it off. That was more self-defense than anything else.
Well, that's one you could easily foul it off right back into your face when it's in there.
Trimmed that beard up a little bit with that fastball. 0 for 2, as you can see, for Derek Barton today. Ground ball to second and a strikeout. Rangers with Beltre and Ducey getting ready to charge down the line from third and first respectively. Again, Barton around a bunt, and again bunts it foul.
Well, if he bunted that one fair, he'd have bunted right into the wheel play. Elvis disguised it pretty well. The hitter's kind of looking at the infielders until he has to concentrate on the pitcher to see what they're doing. If the shortstop leaves early, that alerts the hitter that that wheel play is on. And if he bunts it fair, there's going to be a third baseman, a pitcher, and a first baseman ready to field it. But Elvis stops, then takes off again. He bunted that ball to Adrian. He would have just thrown to third and got an easy force out.
So 0-2, and Rangers for the most part back at their normal positions. No bunt from Barton, and the pitch is popped foul. That will reach the seats over the Oakland dugout. We'll try it again at 0-2. Theo Kotz joined Alexi Ogando out on the Ranger bullpen. Alexi up briefly last inning, and at the start of this inning was up throwing again. Oh, 0-2 to count to the left-handed hitting Derek Barton. Jamal Weeks at second base, the pinch runner. Josh Reddick at first. Nobody out here in the Oakland 7th inning. And Barton skies one to right center field. This should be interesting. Weeks is tagging. The catch by Martin, and no advance as he threw a laser in there to the cutoff man, Elvis Andrews.
Yeah, that was about to take a nice little short bounce right straight to Adrian, right on the bag, and Weeks would have been out before he even started his slide. You can tell that the ball's on line. Well, you'll really be able to tell from this angle. But you can also tell when you're watching it because Adrian never moved from third base. He knew that ball was right there.
So with the top of the order due up for the 4th time this afternoon, Ron Washington out of the Ranger dugout. He's on his way to the mound. And he will say a few words to Martin Perez, let him know what he's going to do. And then he signals he wants the right-hander, Alexi Ogando. So a nice job by Martin Perez settling down after a tough first inning. A very good 6 1/3 here this afternoon. Alexi Ogando on as Martin Perez walks off to a nice ovation from the crowd on hand this afternoon. Pitching change underway. We will take a timeout. Be right back to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington after this. Top of the 7th inning, Alexi Ogando on to take over for Martin Perez. He inherits runners at first and second and one away.
Alexi's numbers on the season. He's pitched in 18 games. 15 of them have been starts. This is his 4th relief appearance. In his last relief appearance, he was airing it out. His fastball was right where you normally saw it when he came in relief. 95, 96, 97. Threw a couple of good sliders. Still trying to keep it right here at 3-1. Rangers having trouble scoring. Don't want to see any more runs on the board.
Coco Crisp is the hitter, and he goes after that first pitch and pulls it foul, and one hop over the top of the Ranger dugout into the crowd. Crisp trying to get that pitch out of his kitchen in there. He pulled it foul. Hope that lady got that expensive looking camera out of the way. Weeks at second, Reddick at first as Ogando sets. And that's out of play to the left. And again, Alexio in here coming in going 96, and this kind of harkens back to what Ogando did year before last. Started that year in the rotation in 2011, and after the All-Star break ran into a few problems. Coming down the stretch, he went to the bullpen and just was lights out through that in the first couple of rounds of the playoffs.
It'll be interesting to see what the plan will be for Alexi and Neftali coming into spring training next year. Both of them started off as relievers, moved to the rotation. They were injured.
Double play ground ball. Kinsler, Andrews, back to Agusi. 4-6-3. What a job. Boy, Ogando, he got the 2 ball out of Coco Crisp. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. After 6.5, it's 3-1 Oakland. And now let's join Chuck Morgan as he asks the crowd to stand for God Bless America.
To honor the men and women of our armed services, both at home and around the world. Today, we invite you to join in singing God Bless America with Ray Lynn recording artist, the Horn Family.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Rangers Ballpark on Saturday, November the 9th. The lineup includes the Eli Young Band, Josh Abbott Band, Thompson Square, and Easton Corbin. Tickets start at just $25, but get yours early because prices will go up on September the 14th. That was yesterday. Go to TexasRangers.com/Eli Young Band for tickets. Brad, the seventh inning stretch here at Rangers Ballpark. And Rangers trying to find a way to get into comeback mode here this afternoon. They have been fighting back and just not able to get much done here in the first 6 innings. Now the AT&T Twitter poll, remember we asked you which current Ranger would make the best Major League manager. 24% of you said Adrian Beltre, 24% of you said A.J. Pierzynski. Take your pick. And I think those are great picks. I think both of them would make very good managers if they chose to do that. And speaking of AT&T, how about the AT&T U-verse Rewind for today? 3 double play ground balls the Rangers have turned, and they have really kept the offense in the game by doing that. And the latest with Alexio Gondo, the first hit of each game. Without those double plays, it'd be an entirely different ball game. The Rangers still within 2, still within striking distance. As Ryan Cook enters the ball game now to take over in the 7th.
We talked about Ryan Cook the other night. He came into the first game and ran into a little bit of tough luck. Gave up a couple of hits. I think he walked somebody, and he was gone. Didn't get an out. And the Ranger comeback. They comeback fell short with that play at third base. Rangers were down by 1. Rios was called out at third. But Cook was in that rally, but he never got anybody out.
Well, Cook facing Ian Kinsler, and the first pitch to Ian is high for ball 1. Kinsler 0 for 3 this afternoon. He has lined out twice and struck out. And he lines one to right field, but that is right at Josh Reddick. He took 1 step in, 1 step back, and he was right there for it. Oh, Ian has had a tough afternoon as far as hitting the ball right on the nose and having nothing to show for it.
Well, this is where Cook came in the other night. I believe he walked in with the bases loaded. Elvis hit a hanging slider to right field for a base hit, and then Rios had a base hit up the middle. Had a couple of 2-run hits off him. He tossed a wild pitch. Am I thinking about the same game?
Yep, you sure are.
I just guess and toss it out there, and if I'm wrong, I depend on you to correct me. So I was just worried you're being polite, didn't want to correct me.
No.
Okay, good.
No, you were exactly correct. Elvis 1 for 3 today.
Cook's got a great arm. His fastball is usually in the mid-90s. He's got good sinking action on it. Hasn't pitched as well over the last 3 weeks or a month than he did earlier in the season, though.
Yeah, there was some talk in the Oakland camp about maybe Cook wearing down a little bit.
That's what it looked like.
It would stand to reason. I mean, he has been a workhorse for him. Ground ball to the right side, 1 hop into the glove of Derek Barton. Steps on first. Elvis retired, and that is out number 2 with Alex Rios coming up. Well, Cook and Sean Doolittle are the primary setup guys for Grant Balfour this year, at least as it's designed. So they have both had a lot of work come their way. Anymore, it seems like, Tom, with the way the bullpens are utilized, you almost have to have a 3 or 4 men that are capable of setting the game up for late in the contest.
Yeah, those are really the 3 for Oakland. Jerry Blevins does a nice job, but those are the 3, 7, 8, and 9. And if you're playing a lot of close games, winning a lot of games, those guys are going to be used a lot. Rangers were in that situation earlier in the season. Not quite so much lately, though.
Right. 1-0 pitch to Rios. That's out of play to the right. Got to look at Sean Doolittle, the left-hander, out in the bullpen. As you saw for Cook, this is his 65th game of the year. Just about an inning every time out on average. And Doolittle, if he comes into the ball game, it'll be his 66th appearance of the year. That's going to be down for a base hit.
Well, he's not fooling anybody. That's 2 line drives to right and a hard hit ground ball right straight to the first baseman.
Well, Alex Rios with his first hit of the afternoon, a 2-out single. And Adrian Beltre now will come up as the potential tying run. Short stroke by Alex Rios.
The Rangers about hit the A's 9-7. But they've left 8 men on base. They've had 4 innings where they've left 2 men on base. Last inning was 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Couldn't get the run in.
Yeah, they had 1st and 3rd, 1 out last inning. They had 1st and 3rd, or 1st and 2nd, 1 out in the 4th inning. Couldn't advance the runners. And 1st and 2nd, 1 out in the 2nd inning. Couldn't advance the runners. It's just been one of those afternoons. Again, and I'm not being critical about it. That's the funk they are in. And if there were any kind of button you could push, believe me, there'd be a whole lot of managers wanting that button to push whenever they could.
I think Wash has pushed every button that he's got. He's played everybody. He's tried different lineups. He's shaking it up as well as he can. And you know, once the guys get out on the field, they've got to make it happen.
Rios drawing plenty of attention from Ryan Cook over there at first. Beltre, meanwhile, waiting at the plate. 0-1 the count. There goes Rios. The pitch is lined to right field. That's in for a base hit. Rios slid into second, but now he's up and motoring on to third. And with 2 outs, the Rangers, with back-to-back singles, have runners at the corners for A.J. Przinsky.
Well, that is 3 line shots hit into right field. One of them was caught, unfortunately. But that was almost a carbon copy of the base hit that Rios had the other way. Hangs an off-speed pitch up there. That ball is ripped into right field.
And I don't think A.J. is going to face Ryan Cook. Bob Melvin on his way to the mound, and he is pointing out toward the bullpen. He wants Sean Doolittle, the left-hander. Takes the ball from Cook, and Doolittle will make his way in from left center field. So the Rangers, again, getting a pair of runners aboard here with 2 outs. They now have 10 hits the afternoon. Now another pitching change underway. We will again take a timeout. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Runs on base. You got Beltre over at third, Alex Rios over at third. Both of them with 2-out singles. And A.J. Przinsky will be the hitter. He will face the left-hander, Sean Doolittle.
I've seen Doolittle in this series, too. He's kind of straight over the top, hides the ball a little bit, and pops it up there at 94, 95 miles an hour. Very effective fastball. Hitters have a hard time picking it up, hard time Getting the bat on it, too.
Doolittle came in Friday night and got the save in that 9-8 Oakland win. He's asked here to put the fire out in the 7th inning. A.J. Pierzynski, 1 for 3 here this afternoon. He had an RBI single in the 1st inning. Doolittle to the plate. And the fastball is inside for ball 1. Pierzynski faced Doolittle in the 9th inning the other night and struck out. Rangers 1 for 9 today with runners in scoring position, with Pierzynski the only hit. And he's not going to get one there as that's popped up in the infield. Donaldson, the third baseman, near the mound, puts it away, and that'll do it. And the Rangers strand 2 more. They have now left 10 men on base and will go to the 8th. It remains Oakland 3 and Texas 1 on Fox Sports Southwest.
And Amanda, come to the ballpark today and you said, hey, you know, this is a great place to ask Amanda to marry me. You got engaged here. Why the ballpark?
It's just a good place to be and hang out. We're big Rangers fans, so I thought this would be good as any.
And Amanda, were you surprised?
Very surprised.
All right, well, here's something else, a little bit different, but the progressive bag of the game, congratulations. Anything else you guys like to say?
Go Rangers, come back and win.
There we go. We need that. All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Buzz.
All right, Jim, thank you. Well, Alexi Ogando getting ready to go to work. Now, Joe West is coming down from his position at third and asking for something from the Rangers dugout. Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire, going over there, and might be asking for the lights to be turned on. And as we look up there now, they're just starting to flicker to life. So apparently Joe West couldn't see. So, hey, I can't see out here. Turn the lights on.
I think this is the lightest I've ever seen a game where they wanted the lights on.
Well,
but they need the lights. They need the lights.
You have to ask Joe after the ball game. Joe, what's the deal with the lights? We're trying to conserve energy around here. Chris Young starting things off against Alexi Ogando. Ogando came in and faced one hitter in the 7th, got the double play grounder, and that took care of that. And he throws a slider in there for a strike. It is 1-1 to Young. Chris Young with a long home run to left center field, 412 feet for his 12th home run of the year. That was back in the 3rd inning. He is 2 for 3 today as Ogando deals to him another breaking ball. It is 1-2.
That was one you're just fooled by that. You weren't fooled by the location of it, that's for sure.
1-2 pitch. Ground ball out to short. Elvis gobbles that up and Fires to first. That is out number one. Young retired. Now Jed Lowry comes to the plate. So Ogando's gotten 3 outs, only facing 2 hitters, and Lowry steps to the plate 0 for 3 today. Grounded into a double play in the first inning, and since then has flied out to center and flied out to right. 285 the average for Lowry. Switch hitter turns around to bat from the left side of the plate for the first time today. Martin Perez with the first 6 1/3. Well, Lowry got pitched in on his fist and fouled it off to the left. Perez with 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, a couple of home runs. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Rangers, though, again, stuck in neutral as far as their offense is concerned. A breaking ball down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lowry. Alexi okays the sign. And Lowry taps 1 foul at the plate. Looked like a straight changeup that time. 1-2. Lowry acquired by the A's from Houston with the idea, ostensibly, of playing a lot of second base. But one shortstop that they drafted didn't quite work out, and so they had Lowry take over full time at shortstop. Went out and acquired Alberto Callaspo from the Angels at the trade deadline. Took over at second base. Kind of a makeshift infield with Josh Donaldson, who went to spring training and not really having a set job. Took over there because of injuries. Yeah, Lowry yanks 1 foul down the right side. That's well back and out of play. Still 2-2.
There probably aren't many teams that have the quality win-loss record that the A's have that use more players on a semi-regular basis with the platoon situation. Callaspo platoons with Sogard. Brandon Moss platoons in the outfield. Right now, even Reddick is platooning out there. First baseman generally platoon. There are at least 4 guys that platoon.
Yep.
Crisp, Lowry, Donaldson. Cespedes not playing today. Those guys play every day.
Call strike 3. Well, Lowry tossed his bat away and thinking he was going to first, and now he can just follow his bat over toward the dugout.
Didn't look like that bad a pitch. I would have called it a strike. That thing's all the way in the strike zone. You don't flip your bat and act like that on that pitch. That's one thing. If the ball, there's been probably 3 pitchers that have struck out Ranger hitters today. There've been 4 or 5 pitches, inches off the plate. Pitches all the way in the strike zone. Kind of lose your credibility like that.
Josh Donaldson up for his 4th at bat. He is 1 for 2 officially. Homered in the first, walked in the 4th, and grounded out in the 6th inning. Ogando with the 1-0 pitch. Another slider. Alexi breaking out the off-speed pitches here today. That's a lot of sliders, a lot of changeups. A lot more than we have seen from Ogando the last couple of times out.
It's more than he normally would use in a relief appearance, but maybe his time as a starter where he had to work those pitches in just gives him a little more of an arsenal coming in relief.
That's low and outside. 2-1 to Donaldson. And if you command the breaking ball, this is a pretty good team, the Oakland team, to use that against early in the count. They can be an aggressive bunch. But you have to be able to throw it for a strike. They won't swing it a whole lot out of the zone. And that pitch low and away. Good example there. But 3-1 now, the count to Donaldson. Now, if Donaldson is able to prolong this 8th inning, Derek Norris, the Oakland catcher, waits in the on-deck circle. Target set outside, the 3-1 pitch. It's low, ball 4. No, 2-out walk puts Donaldson aboard, and now Norris will face Ogando for the first time today.
Well, the A's walk a lot. Donaldson leads the A's with 68 walks. Has 2 of them today.
Well, the first walk issued by Alexi. Norris is 1 for 3 with a double this afternoon. He is 1 for 5 in his career against Ogando. Oakland leading 3-1. They have been out hit though 10-7 by the Rangers. Rangers have stranded 10 and Oakland has left only 4. Norris loops one to right field. Coming on a few steps. Alex Rios, and that will do it. A 2-out walk, no damage. A runner left stranded. We're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the A's 3, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Do for your Texas Rangers, it is 3-1 A's on top. Mark McLemore and I will be here after the game to present to you Rangers Live, presented by Esurance. We are definitely going to be talking about a Rangers comeback. I am willing this team to score 4 runs in this half inning, and we're going to be here to talk about it for 30 minutes after the game. Mark McLemore guaranteeing a win here on the set. We'll gloat about it after the game, fellas.
All right, Em, I'm going to hold you to it. Hold you to it. Well, we'll see what happens as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Jurickson Profar to start things off against Sean Doolittle. With the left-hander in the game, Profar batting from the right side. He singled his first time up as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. He takes strike 1 from Doolittle. And Eric Sogard has entered the ballgame to take over at shortstop for Jed Lowry. Profar hitting at .237. Doolittle back to him. Fouled back to the screen. It is 0-2. Profar, Adduci, and Murphy, the 3 scheduled hitters here in the Ranger 8th. I say scheduled because both Adduci and Murphy, and then Martin on top of that, are all left-handed. The 0-2. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Profar 0 for 1 prior to this series against Sean Doolittle. And that one's popped foul just back below us. Jurickson had right on line, just a little bit short. We had a ball coming in here, huh? Didn't get enough wind.
Definitely right on line. I don't know if I'm up for trying to catch him or not, though, Buzz. I think I'm moving out of the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
One good
This
thing about
stage of my life, I just can't. I can't take the embarrassment if I couldn't catch it.
That pitch is high. It's doing it too.
You can't get in trouble if you duck. As long as you get out of the way in time and no one really sees you. But like if you're diving out of the way and they catch that on camera, that can be a little embarrassing.
That's true.
I'm just trying to be cool.
Line to center field. Crisp toward the alley makes the catch. And Profar getting that ball on the nose, but comes up empty.
Well, the Rangers probably hit 5 line drives on the nose to the outfield today. They've had some hard hit outs, but boy, they just can't buy a little blooper with a man in scoring position today.
Sure can't.
Cut up some of those line drives, and a couple infield hits and a couple bloopers would be in pretty good shape.
Need to let the air out of a couple of those line drives.
Yeah. Don't hit them so hard.
Well, here's Adducci, who's found a safe landing zone for all 3 of his drives. 3 singles to right field for the Ranger first baseman. He takes a strike at the knees from the left-hander Doolittle. Infield plays Adducci just about straight away. Outfield shading him around to the left. And that's where that next foul ball goes. That's well out of play to the left. It is 0-2. Joaquim Soria loosening in the Ranger bullpen. Sean Doolittle, the 4th pitcher used this afternoon by Bob Melvin. Tommy Malone, the emergency starter after Jared Parker came down with flu-like symptoms. Malone went 5. Dan Otero went 1 shutout inning despite giving up 2 hits. Ryan Cook 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits on his leisure, but no runs. Now Sean Doolittle, and call strike 3 as Adducci caught looking at that fastball on the outside corner. First strikeout for Doolittle, and Adducci dejectedly back to the Ranger dugout.
Yeah, I don't blame him. A little bit outside.
Certainly nothing you can do as far as hitting that pitch.
Nope. You take it and hope it's called a ball.
2 away now. Adam Rosales will pinch hit for David Murphy. Rosales, the former A, takes ball 1 from his former teammate, Sean Doolittle. Rosales hitting .193 for the year. 5 home runs, 12 driven in. Round ball into the hole. Sogard on the run, throws a big stretch by Barton just to nip Rosales by a half step. Nice play on both ends of that as Barton is stretching out for all he could reach. Side retired, we're going to the ninth. 3-1 Oakland. for you. The Rays lost this afternoon to the Twins. Twins came back and won that game 6-4. Indians are in a rain delay in Chicago as they're getting ready to take on the White Sox. Orioles defeated the Blue Jays 3-1. And the Yankees play the Red Sox tonight. And the Royals lost to the Tigers 3-2. What's all that mean? Well, we go on and look at the wild card standings. And as of this moment, the Rangers have a half-game lead on Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay has a one-game lead on Cleveland, 2.5 over Baltimore, 2.5 over the Yankees, and 3.5 over Kansas City. And if the Rangers should not come back and find a way to win this ball game, they would be tied with Tampa Bay. Joakim Soria enters the ball game to pitch the 9th inning for the Rangers. And he is facing Alberto Callaspo to start things off. 2 balls and no strikes. Here are the numbers on Soria.
Another good outing for Alexi. 1 2/3, walk and a strikeout.
Soria's next pitch. Right down through there. Adam Rosales remains in the ballgame to take over at first, and moving from first out to left field, the previous first baseman, Jim Aduce. Now the 2-1 is on the way. Out of play down the left side. Count evens at 2-2. Callaspo 0 for 3 this afternoon. He was on an error back in the second inning, as you can see. Season average of 252. Soria back to him. Call strike 3. What, painting the outside corner is a good job by Soria to nail down Black right at the knees.
Well, if the glove was in the strike zone, the ball had to be there because his glove didn't have to move very much to catch that strike.
Well, with 1 out, Jemiah Weeks, the scheduled hitter, has been called back. It'll be Brandon Moss coming in for a pinch hit assignment against Soria. Now, Brandon Moss with his 27th home run of the year here on Friday night. And Soria misses just off the plate outside for ball 1. Soria's next pitch, and that is high. Joakim Soria has not faced Brandon Moss this year, or in his career for that matter. Right-handers 2-0, and that is ball 3. Well, Moss with 1 out trying to get aboard. Josh Reddick, the A's right fielder, getting ready in the on-deck circle. Oakland leading 3-1. Soria trying to keep it right there. Misses outside, ball 4. And the 1-out walk puts the pinch hitter Moss aboard. And Reddick comes up. Reddick singled to right field his last time up. He is 1 for 3 today. Soria okays the sign and a little soft toss to first just to let Moss know that he was thinking about him. Rangers, as we have mentioned, 3 double play grounders today. Do I hear 4? Nope. That is a problem as Rios goes back at the wall. That's gone. Reddick crunching a Soria pitch out of here. His 12th home run of the year. And the A's have opened it up. It's now 5-1 Oakland. It's their 3rd home run of the afternoon.
That's the first home run that Joakim has given up in 18 innings. Had a great pitch to strike out Caspo, but then walked Moss and Reddick. I think he's trying to throw this ball down in a way, but fades back toward the middle of the plate, and you can see what the result was.
That ball, jet stream or no jet stream, ends up in the third row out there in the lower home run porch. Well, 3 home runs today for Oakland. They lead 5-1. And Soria, facing Derek Barton, has fallen, or has evened the count after that last strike. It's 1-1. And he gets strike 2 at the knees to Barton. Barton 0 for 3 today. He has grounded out, struck out, and flied out. Soria back to the plate, got him swinging. Big slow curveball. And Soria gets his second strikeout of the inning. A good crowd on hand here this afternoon. They'll be hoping for a Ranger comeback in the 9th inning. 42,980 in attendance here this afternoon. And I hope most of them are getting their rally caps on. Rangers are going to need that. They trail by 4. Still need 1 out to get out of the top of the 9th inning. Coco Crisp, for his 5th at bat of the day, steps in from the left side. Crisp is 2 for 4. Pair of singles and a run scored. And Soria misses inside for ball 1. There's a fastball for a strike. Well, the A's 5 runs on 8 hits this afternoon. The Rangers 1 run on 10 hits. A's with 2 solo home runs and a 2-run home run. As Crisp takes strike 2. Soria studying the signs, has the one he wants. The 1-2 pitch. There's that big curveball, and Joakim Soria ends up striking out the side, but also mixed in a walk and a 2-run home run. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Rangers trailing 5-1. By the Built Ford Tough Sales Event at your Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. and by Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. Now the Rangers trail by 4 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. The Rally Caps are indeed in evidence here this afternoon, except for the A's Caps. They're in shutdown mode, and Jesse Chavez has entered the ballgame to take over a 4-run lead in the bottom of the ninth. But Chavez becomes the 5th pitcher used this afternoon. Tommy Malone worked the first 5, then Dan Otero worked 1. Ryan Cook and Sean Doolittle split up a couple of innings. And now Jesse Chavez, and he will face Leonis Martin to lead off the Ranger 9th inning, and the first pitch is inside for ball 1. Martin, as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning, popped out. Leonis now at .261 with the average. And ball 2 is a bit high. Two-1. Pulled foul, that evens the count. Ball bounding toward the far end of the Ranger dugout. Chavez 2-2. Well, Leonis Martin now with a full count, trying to get a board to start off this 9th inning. Top of the order, Ian Kinsler waits to be next. Payoff pitch. Call strike 3. Leonis Martin knew it, and he just started walking back to home plate as he watched that ball into the glove of Derek Norris. Our Coors Light freeze cans this afternoon, and Josh Reddick at the plate, 2 on and 2 outs. Craig Gentry way back into the alley in the 4th inning. They're haul in that Josh Reddick blast. A great play by Craig Gentry. So our Coors Light freeze can of the afternoon. A 1 away here is Kinsler. Ian takes low and inside for ball 1. He had a lot of at-bats against Chavez, but he's 0 for 7 career-wise against the right-hander. Takes a belt-high strike to even things at 1-1. The Rangers wrapping things up here in this tough series against Oakland, and a tough homestand. Ground ball right back to Chavez. Ian kind of flipped his bat up in the air in disgust.
He's hit
a pretty hard hit ball, his 4th of the day.
Yeah, he's hit 3 hard balls to the outfield, and that ball's up the middle for a base hit if it somehow avoids the pitcher. Pretty tough to avoid him, though. It's hit right straight at him. Frustrating day for Ian. 0 for 5 with 4 balls hit solidly.
Well, the Rangers now down to their final out. And Elvis Andrus coming up. The Rangers don't find a way to come back. This would be the first homestand in Ranger franchise history since 1972 that they've gone over in a homestand of at least 6 games. It has not happened before.
Wow.
It'll also be their 7th straight home loss. As Elvis takes outside, 1-1. That would match the longest streak ever in this ballpark. Also had a 7-game home losing streak back in 05. 1-1 pitch. And that is right down through there. So now Elvis and the Rangers down to their final strike. Chavez to the wind, the 1-2 pitch. And we will have at least one more as Ellis chops that one foul. Well, the Rangers this afternoon only sent down in order in 2 innings. They had at least 2 base runners in virtually every inning other than those. And a 2-hopper out to Sogard at short, on to first, and that will do it. And the A's have completed a 3-game sweep over the Rangers. They now have a 6.5 game lead with 14 to play in the American League West. And Jesse Chavez gets the final 3 outs. The Rangers down in this game, and they have now lost 6 straight games, all of them on this homestand. So the final 5-1. Emily Jones, Mark McLemore back to wrap things up for you after the break on Fox Sports Southwest.